Imagine with me, you are a parent missing precious moments with your child, and you are experiencing heartache, confusion, and the pain of their rejection. Your child is being hostile towards you, or they are downright refusing to spend any parent time with you. More importantly, your child is caught in the crossfires of your divorce, torn between the love and loyalty they feel for both parents, forced to choose sides in a battle they never asked to be a part of. Your child is questioning, doubting, or dismissing everything good you provided, and simultaneously they are making false accusations or exaggerating situations, attempting to explain their ill behavior towards you. All of this is happening and there is no good explanation. You love your child. You sacrificed so much for your child. Sure, you weren't perfect, you made mistakes, but you did the best you could with the information and skill you had at the time, and nothing you did is deserving of this level of hostility or rejection. But wait, what I described to you is not your imagination. It is your reality. If any of this resonates with you, there is a good chance you are dealing with the most destructive force that divorced parents are facing, and it's a relationship killer. Typical parenting techniques are ineffective with this contagion. Regardless of what you know to be true though, there is something going on with your child that you can't quite put your finger on. So the question is, what is really happening to the relationship between you and your child, and why?
Damn.
The relationship distress between you and your child is concerning and needs careful support. If you've ever looked into this issue, you might have come across the topic of parental alienation, and you'll quickly find out there are a lot of voices and opinions on the subject, but there is not a consensus among the experts and courts as to what parental alienation is or even how to treat it. So it can be downright difficult to find accurate or helpful information. I've spent significant time researching the most credible voices so that you don't have to sort through the conflicting information. In this video, I'm going to simplify what I found and walk you through the 4 factors that indicate you might be dealing with parental alienation. If you are finding value in this video, will you please go ahead and leave a comment for me down below so that I know that this is information that is helpful for you. And make sure you stick around to the very end of this video because I'm going to share with you my #1 parenting tip for rejected parents. So let's jump right into a basic definition of parental alienation. Parental alienation is the psychological manipulation of a child by one parent that results in the child rejecting the other parent they once had a prior positive relationship with. Left untreated, the child will often cut off contact and refuse parent time with the rejected parent. Now we are going to dive right into the 4 factors that must be present for it to be considered parental alienation. #1, you must have had an established bond with your child prior to the alienation setting in. Your bond could be described as loving, close, or healthy. There is no requirement that you needed to be a near perfect parent, just that you were not so ineffective or uninvolved that there was no attachment bond to your child. If you were perpetually absent, uninvolved, or uncaring, it would not meet the criteria for this model. #2, there must be an absence of maltreatment by the rejected parent. This factor immediately recognizes that a child who rejects a parent due to the presence of abuse or neglect is warranted in their rejection of that parent. To qualify, the abuse or neglect could have been acted out on the child, or the child may have witnessed it on other members of the household. Alienated parents are not guilty of abuse or neglect. We are good enough parents where the level of rejection, fear, and hostility that our child is displaying is significantly disproportionate to the actual experience that our child had with us. As an alienated parent, you love your child and want a relationship with them. #3, the favored parent uses alienating behaviors. The favored parent is the one that your child is choosing to defend or live with. The 4-factor model lists 17 behaviors that the favored parent might have engaged in. If you're interested in learning about all 17 behaviors, I recommend that you read the short research article listed in the description below. But in this video, I'm just going to list 10 behaviors and group them into 2 easy to remember categories. The first category are behaviors that are seen by the targeted parent. The favored parent limits child's contact and communication. with the rejected parent. The favored parent withholds information from the rejected parent. The favored parent undermines the other parent's authority. The favored parent allows the child to choose parent time, creating the illusion that it's optional or undesirable. The second category are behaviors that are mostly unseen by the rejected parent. The favored parent confides in the child about personal and legal matters. The favored parent denigrates the other parent to create the impression that the other parent is unsafe, unloving, or unavailable. The favored parent refers to the other parent by their first name rather than mom or dad. Or sometimes the other parent might force the child to refer to you by your first name rather than mom or dad. The favored parent refers to the new significant other as mom or dad, or they might require the child to also refer to their new significant other as mom or dad. The second category of behaviors are what the court would consider hearsay because you didn't actually witness them happening, but you heard about them from the child. What happens is that the child will witness the alienating behavior by the favored parent. Then the child will start to have feelings or thoughts associated with that towards the rejected parent. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh my goodness, I have done some of these behaviors myself. Does that mean I am an alienating parent? Before you start to freak out, no parent is perfect. So it is very possible that you have done some of these behaviors, but a primary determining factor on whether or not it is parental alienation is the frequency of these behaviors. Parents who are alienating their kids from the other parent are engaged in any combination of these behaviors chronically and consistently. And number 4 in our 4-factor model is that there must be presence of behavioral manifestations in the child. There are 8 behaviors that the child might exhibit. Your child is on a campaign of denigration towards you. Your child has weak, frivolous, or absurd reasons for the rejection. Your child has a lack of ambivalence. One parent is seen as all good and the other is seen as all bad. Your child has a lack of remorse for the cruel treatment of you. Your child automatically supports the favored parent in disputes. So your child has independent thinker phenomenon. The child stresses that they have not been influenced by the favored parent. Your child and the favored parent have parallel phrases or stories. Your child also rejects your friends or family. Now, the child does not actually have to be exhibiting all 8 of these for them to be considered an alienated child. So now I'm going to talk to you about some behaviors that you've probably seen in your own child. No matter what, the parent can't seem to do anything right in the eyes of the child. For example, you may send your child a gift and your child may interpret it that you didn't respect their wish to stay away, or they may interpret it as a bribe or manipulation. Now your child is claiming that you are manipulative or disrespectful. Or on the other hand, if you don't send a gift, your child will think you don't care about them. Either way, you're in a losing position. The second thing I want to talk about is having your parental role stripped away from you. One example of this is that your child may bring an electronic device to your home from the other parent's home. Your child may sneak the device into your home or break the house rules. And then when you step in to govern the device, your child may resist that effort by saying that you have no right to govern the device because it came from the other parent's home. If you do attempt to set rules, your child will claim that you are controlling or don't respect them. Further, you may find that the other parent calls the police on you or supports your child in skirting around your house rules. Thus, your role as parent is undermined or diminished. Another example of denigration is that your child may not have liked the appropriate discipline that you used and are now claiming that it was abusive or neglectful. I tend to think of your child's denigration and reasons for rejection as a wall built of many bricks because your child has many reasons for their treatment of you. These reasons are built up over time as your child encounters situations with you that they don't like. With each encounter of your discipline or other normal parenting behavior, your child adds another brick of rejection. With each brick of rejection, that wall is getting stronger and more difficult to break down until that wall is so strong and so tall that your child resists seeing you. Often it is not until that wall is so strong and so tall that the targeted parent finally clues in that something is wrong. because up to this point, you just thought that the friction or disagreements between you and your child were a normal yet difficult phase of raising children, especially teenagers. So you probably didn't suspect anything was wrong until it was much too late. In contrast, your child thinks that there is something seriously wrong the whole time. And as the situation increased in severity, you reinforce that belief without even knowing it. The third behavior in your child that I want to talk about is lack of remorse. Your child is likely showing ambivalence to whether or not they get to see you. They don't see their rejection or hostility of you as cruel. They see it as justified and acceptable based on what they view as your out-of-control behavior. Your child may state that they are setting appropriate boundaries. They have moved on without you, and other people and activities take your place and become more important to your child. Now, if you find yourself resonating with the content of this video, remember that typical parenting strategies do not work with alienated children. You need to seek professional help from someone skilled in treating parental alienation. Now, earlier in this video, I promised you my #1 parenting tip for rejected parents. If your relationship with your child is in distress, it is crucial that you tread lightly, or else you will risk causing more damage to an already strained relationship. So I strongly recommend that you begin adjusting how you think of this situation by replacing any negative thoughts and feelings regarding the people involved with positive thoughts. Otherwise, too much focus on the behaviors of the child and the favorite parent will make your blood boil, and you will likely react in ways that further strain the relationship. So let's talk about the practical application of this. Right now, your child may have their focus on other things, like what's happening at the favorite parent's home, the child's work or extracurricular activities, or their friends, or they may still be verbally lashing out at you. When communicating with your child, you can use this prompt to help yourself and your child. I can see that friends, activities, work, or fill in the blank, is really important to you right now. I will always love you, and I'm here for you. When you are ready, I will be available to you. This should take the steam out of any difficult situation you face and puts you squarely in control of your emotions and gives your child an example of a healthy response to difficult situations. Statements like this will send a message to your child that they are loved and accepted. Now, if you found value in this video, will you please like and subscribe and share this content with others who may need this information.